Okay, so here's where being a teacher's pet kind of pays off. I'm joking, but only a little bit. Today we're talking letters of recommendation. I just saw a video actually on this app. A student who was admitted to Harvard actually got access to his admissions profile and got to see the notes that, the admissions made while they were reviewing him. And something that really pushed him over the edge and actually got him accepted were his recommendation letters. I want you not to think of these just as like a box that you're checking off, but really be thoughtful when you're asking for your letters of recommendation. And as with pretty much everything when it comes to college admissions, think ahead. Okay, so who writes your letters of recommendation? First, your teachers. Those are the ones that you do have to request. Your school counselor also will likely write these letters. Those you typically do not have to ask for. And I'll talk about what information they actually include in those letters soon. You can also get letters from coaches, managers, research mentors, any adult who can pretty much sing your praises. But whether or not you can include those additional letters depends on the school. So the teacher letters are the ones that are definitely required. So since those are the most important, let's go over those. You should ask your teachers for letters of recommendation in the spring of your junior year. If you're planning to ask a teacher who, is really well liked by the whole school, I recommend asking in early March. Mid-April is perfectly fine, but if they have a limited number of students who they will write letters of recommendation for, then that is something that you should consider. Which brings us to who to ask. If you're only asking because the teacher is known for writing good letters, I'd actually caution against asking them just purely for that reason. If the teacher doesn't really know you, there's probably no way the letter will be that good. The amazing letters that they wrote in the past were probably for students who they, had a lot of classes with. Maybe the student worked on a project with them. So you want to ask a teacher who you took in your junior year. Some colleges outright require or recommend a teacher from 11th or 12th grade. But it's even better if you also took that teacher in 9th or 10th grade, or if you know that you're going to take them again in 12th grade. They've spent more time with you, they know you better. That is the person you should definitely be asking. So just for an example, maybe your AP Lang teacher who, saw you contribute thoughtfully to class discussions if it was like a heavily discussion-based class. Bonus points if, you have a teacher who also sponsors for a club that you're in, or maybe coaches a sport. So if you're on an athletic team and your history teacher is also the coach, perfect. You also want to make sure that you're asking teachers from core subjects. So math, science, English, history. Double check with your own school list and the schools that you're considering, but typically a lot of schools will on their website outline this and say this is who you should be asking for, so you want to listen to them. If you don't have a school list yet, you should be making one if you are a junior. In fact, if you're a sophomore, you should have a preliminary list. This isn't set in stone, but start doing research as early as you can on colleges that you're thinking about attending. And let us know if you just need help creating a college list, if you have no idea where to start and what to research. So next is how to ask. And this is more important than you think. Ask in person. Rehearse a very short pitch, 30 seconds. If they like you, they're going to say yes. But it doesn't hurt to be nice and, compliment them, let them know that you've really loved their class. Explain to them why you're asking them. Next, you do want to follow up with them by email. So you can thank them for agreeing to be your recommender, and then you can attach your resume to that email. And in the email, you can just mention you're providing it in case they want more context for writing the letter, which they probably do. Makes their life easier. And then you want to follow up again. So next year in the fall, early September is a good time to update them on everything that you did over the summer. I would make sure that the email doesn't say something like, just a reminder you agreed to be my recommender. That kind of insinuates that you don't think they're very organized. Instead say, hey, thank you again for agreeing. By the way, in case this helps even more with writing the letter, here is what I did this summer. And then add something like, I really did appreciate everything that you did for me last year. That was an amazing course. Compliments get you far. Honest compliments. Circling back to the school counselor recommendation letters, I've had students ask me when we're creating their activities list, how will schools know that I'm not just lying? Well, if you say that you are part of, a school club that you are absolutely not a member of, or that you're like president of a club that you're actually not a president of a club of. I have heard stories of students having their application acceptance revoked because the counselor notices that the student lied and says something to the school. That is their job. Now, if you are a freshman, you should be listening to this because this means that now you know your counselor is going to be writing these letters of recommendation. And of course, you often have to meet with your counselor to make sure that you're taking the right classes in order to be on track for graduation. It doesn't hurt to reach out to them and try to schedule additional meetings, maybe at the beginning of a school year, and ask them some further questions like, am I on track with my activities as well for, the goals that I have? Is there anything else I should be doing? Don't meet with them weekly, don't make their life harder, but having a quick, 30-minute meeting where you just have a list of things you want to quickly go over can go a long way. And as always, if you have any questions about anything I just went over, feel free to leave a comment down below.